This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Friday, April 3rd, 2026, and here are today's stories. Logging onto social media is starting to feel less like freedom and more like a checkpoint. As platforms push for age verification, it's raising a bigger question. How much do you have to prove just to be online? A global sporting event meant to unite the world is getting a quiet upgrade. From advanced prosthetics to smarter stadiums, technology is breaking barriers, changing how athletes compete and how fans experience every moment. On the Spanish island of Fuerteventura, yesterday's clothes are getting a second act. Old jeans and worn-out fabrics are being transformed, proving one community's trash can become something unexpectedly beautiful. Durango, Colorado isn't just a postcard, it's a place with stories on every corner. Historic buildings, local businesses, and mountain views come together to show what life there is really like. What if your neighborhood came with its own farm? Agrihoods are rethinking suburban living, where fresh produce is steps away and farm to table isn't a trend. It's just Tuesday. Deep in rural New Brunswick, something magical is taking root. In Williamsburg's Fairy Wood, nature, storytelling, and a sense of wonder are blending into an experience that invites people to slow down and see the world a little differently. Logging into social media is starting to feel like you're stepping up to a checkpoint. Platforms are being pushed and, in some cases, required to ask a simple but loaded question. How old are you really? When Discord revealed plans to roll out age verification for all users, it turned that quiet shift into a loud conversation. And Discord is far from alone. Across the United States, a growing number of states are passing or proposing laws that require platforms to verify users' ages before letting them access certain content. Similar efforts are already underway in places like the United Kingdom, Australia, and Brazil. What was once a requirement, primarily reserved for adult websites, is now expanding into social media, gaming, and mainstream online spaces. The goal is straightforward: keep kids safe. Lawmakers argue young users are too often exposed to harmful content or addictive platform design, and stronger safeguards are overdue. Regulators, including the Federal Trade Commission, say companies must handle any collected data carefully, limiting how long it's stored and how it's used. But turning that goal into reality is where things get complicated. Most age verification systems rely on technology that asks users to prove who they are, or at least how old they appear to be. That can mean uploading a government ID, taking a selfie, or letting artificial intelligence estimate age through facial analysis.
This robot thinks I'm old.
Wait, so I didn't make it?
Well, older than 18, which is a good thing because it means I can stay here when the under 16 social media ban rolls in. But age check technology did have a pretty high error rate in an official trial.
More than half of 14-year-olds were, falsely getting through as 16-year-olds, and for 15-year-olds that was 73.26%.
So I got some Guardian friends to test it out.
It's processing. It's like that Jennifer Lawrence movie. Yeah, I'm 29, +1.
They're still reviewing my video, guys. They'll let me know when I'm done.
Your estimated age is close to 18.
It says 18+.
Oh, it just says 18+.
The estimated age is 18+.
Your estimated age is too close to 18 for most businesses to accept.
This job has not aged me so far yet.
I think the main fallback options that they will use will be going to sort of a hard ID. So using your driver's license if you have one, obviously that's going to be hard for 14 and 15-year-olds.
In many cases, this process is handled not by the platform itself, but by third-party verification companies that specialize in digital identity checks. For users, that raises an immediate question. Where does all that data go? Even when companies promise that information is deleted quickly or only used for verification, critics warn the process still creates new risks. Large amounts of sensitive data, including faces, IDs, and birth dates, can end up concentrated in the hands of a few vendors. That makes those systems attractive targets for hackers and increases the chances of data being accessed, shared, or requested by authorities.
The sheer number of breaches that involve private identity because of data that we're giving to companies that they shouldn't need.
That's the thing that I think I worry the most about. Everybody uploading everything from their passport to driver's license to their electric bill to verify that they're over the age of 18. You and I both know how many times we've seen breaches where literally you find the backup folder on a web app pen test that has everybody's IDs that were captured quick seconds that they verified it. And no, everyone forgot about the backup.
Or just in real time, the attackers get control of the system.
Or that.
Even if they delete it forever. How many of the breaches over the last 12 months were in chat systems because the attacker got access to the real-time chats? They have access to everything.
Privacy advocates also point out a deeper shift happening beneath the surface. Age verification doesn't just check how old you are. It starts to tie your real-world identity to your online activity. Over time, that could reshape the internet from a place where anonymity is common into one where identity is expected. Adding to the challenge is the patchwork of rules. In the U.S. alone, different states have different requirements, creating a confusing landscape for platforms that operate nationwide. What works in one state may not meet the standards in another, forcing companies to build flexible systems that can adapt depending on where a user is located. Legal battles are already shaping how these laws will play out. In some cases, courts have stepped in, raising concerns about whether mandatory age checks could conflict with protections like the First Amendment. Critics argue that requiring identification to access lawful content could limit free expression or create barriers for adults. For companies, it's a delicate balancing act. They're trying to block underage users while keeping the experience smooth enough that adults don't get frustrated and leave. Too much friction, users push back. Too little, and regulators step in. The Olympic Games are supposed to bring the world together, but that only happens if everyone can actually take part. That's where assistive technology steps in. It works behind the scenes, breaking down barriers and opening up the games for both athletes and fans. From next-level prosthetics to stadiums built with everyone in mind, technology is genuinely reshaping how we play, watch, and experience sports. Assistive technology is really just any tool that helps people with disabilities do things more easily on their own. When it comes to the Olympics, this tech is having a huge impact. For example, athletes can train smarter with wearable devices that keep an eye on everything from their heart rate to muscle fatigue. Training facilities are getting major upgrades with things like tactile guides and accessible equipment, making workouts safer and more efficient. For athletes with sensory impairments, there are tools like vibration feedback and audio cues to help them focus and react quickly. And you've probably seen those high-performance prosthetics, like the carbon fiber running blades that let them compete at the highest level.
The assistive tech at the Paralympics is so mind-blowing, especially for a science nerd like me. And I want to share two interesting examples. So number one is running blades. These are prosthetic lower limbs that are curved and they look a little bit different from the standard prosthetic. And they're usually made out of layers and layers of carbon fiber pressed together, so they're super light and strong. And something interesting that I learned recently is that the exact shape of the blade depends really on the event and the individual athlete. Number two is racing wheelchairs. These ones look really different to your everyday wheelchair. The wheels are set really wide and sort of slanted inwards, which helps to stabilize the wheelchair when it's taking a turn. For example, on the track when it's like these bikes are also made out of carbon fiber rather than the usual aluminium, which makes them a lot lighter. Something else interesting is the racing gloves. As you can imagine, people are generating a lot of force and friction as they do this motion, so gloves can get easily worn out, and sometimes people actually have 3D printed gloves and they hold together a lot better than a standard kind of glove. So how interesting is that?
Fans are getting a better experience out of all this technology too. Watching the Olympics is way more inclusive now, with stadiums designed to have wheelchair-accessible seating, smooth walkways, and layouts that are actually easy to get around. Visually impaired fans can tune into audio descriptions that give play-by-play details you might miss just watching on your own. And for the deaf and hard of hearing fans, there are sign language interpreters and live captions during the events, so they don't miss a beat. Apps and websites are also improving. Screen reader support, customizable settings, all of that stuff. According to BBC Future, some of the cooler innovations are translating sound into something you can see or physically feel, like vibrations or animated visuals that match the intensity of what's going on. It's not just about access anymore. It's about making the whole experience just as thrilling for everyone.
At the Tokyo Deaflympics, Hapbeat's vibrating devices hang from everyone's necks, laying over their chests. These high-tech gadgets translate throws, footworks, claps, and buzzers into physical sensations for deaf judo fans to enjoy. It allows them to experience the sport on a whole new level, immersing them with a greater, more visceral sense of impact than just visuals allow. It's the kind of technology that truly engages with and enriches deaf life and culture.
But it's not like everything's been figured out. The problem is new high-tech gear can be very expensive, putting it out of reach for a lot of athletes. Then there's the whole debate about where to draw the line between assistance and an unfair edge. It's a tough one. And sports bodies like the International Olympic Committee are always debating it. And updating older stadiums to fit all this new technology is a whole other challenge that's both complicated and expensive.
On Fuerteventura, Spain, old clothes are getting a new life. Worn jeans become decorative pillows, textiles are repaired, and everyday garments are creatively reused. UNN Field Messenger Emma shows how simple ideas can reduce waste and help the environment.
Hi, this is a UNN Field Messenger report from Emma in Fuerteventura, Spain. This report is going to be about how I reuse some of the clothes that I think is possible to reuse. We recycle clothes to reduce consumption, environmental benefits, and extends the life of the garment. Where to deliver textile towers, recycling stations via local collecting points. Clothes must be clean, dry, and intact. Repairable clothing can be delivered as well. They can be repaired. Packaging clothes in bags or sacks before placing them in the collected containers. Damaged textile should be placed in separate containers for textile waste, for material recycling, not in residual waste. So when I go through my closet, I decide what I can reuse, give away, or throw away. And sometimes friends and family give me clothes that I can use to make different things. So I bring my sewing machine outside in fresh air on the terrace. There I have lots of light and space, so I can see what I'm doing and get creative. We have a large table and chairs on our terrace. The wooden chairs are hard to sit on, so I made pillows to sit on from some of my old trousers. They are easy to convert into pillow covers, and they are very decorative. They all look different, but that's okay. I make the pillow covers with zipper or Velcro, so they're easy to remove and wash. It's just one way to reuse clothes and material in a creative way. Hope you get inspired. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Tired before the day begins? NAD Plus levels drop 50% after 40. NAD Plus helps your cells bounce back fast. Most supplements give precursors. NAD Plus skips the breakdown, delivering direct, bioavailable power. Support your energy, metabolism, sleep, and stress levels at the cellular level. Join the NAD Plus revolution. Start your journey to a healthier you. Subscribe today.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne.
And I'm Jerry.
Coming to you from Tamworth, New South Wales.
Hi there, this is Rick from Arizona.
My name is Uchechukwu Ogbenebam from Igbo tribe, Nigeria.
Hi, this is Scott from Utah.
I'm Annette from Agassiz, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Marcus Surzet from Manipur State, India.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. That's what United Network News is all about.
Can you clap?
We had a huge flood, which some call the flood of the century.
No fake news here. Our field messengers share personal experiences of what's really happening in their community.
We got some nice fish right here.
At UNN, you are the news.
My family and I had a very good time.
Take the next step. Become a UNN field messenger and share the real news with the world.
In the northwest province of South Africa, I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News, and if it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's going to be, it's up to me. If it is going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to us. Field Messages, United Network News. See you next time.
UNN Field Messenger Mary takes us around Durango, highlighting its historic buildings, local businesses, and natural scenery, giving a first-hand look at the everyday life and unique character of this small Colorado city.
Hello, this is Mary, and I'm doing a field messenger report from Durango, Colorado. I traveled here for my birthday. Today's my birthday, so it was a treat for me to come here. And I've been sporting my I'm with Ground Command hat as I walk through town. Got a Durango t-shirt, and I'm standing in front of the railroad tracks, which is something that's real popular to do here, to take the train ride from Durango to Silverton. There's artwork all throughout the town. It's just a really, really cute town. Just wanted to give you a sense of what it's like to be here in Durango, Colorado. This is Main Avenue, which cuts straight through downtown Durango. And this is where you'll find really, really cute shops, art galleries, which include photography, painting, sculptures. There's boutiques here. Durango is a small city. It has a population of less than 20,000 people. It has an elevation of just a little bit over 6,500 feet. It's located in the southwestern part of the state of Colorado, and it's right along the New Mexico state border. And over the years, Durango has been featured in different movies. Some of the ones that I was aware of were the 1969 film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They were filmed around Durango, and then also more recently, I guess, but still a long time ago, but in 1993, the movie Cliffhanger was also filmed in Durango. Parts of it were filmed in Durango. So really cute town. People just seem really happy walking up and down the streets here, and just a lot of cool things to look out, window shop, or to actually go in and get some things. I got some t-shirts here and a new hat, and had some great coffee and a really inventive grilled cheese sandwich that I added avocado and jam to. So there's a real creative vibe here, not only in the music and the art, but then also the food. So I enjoyed my time here and encourage others to come and visit and check out Durango, Colorado, USA.
Picture living somewhere where you can grab fresh produce just by walking down the street. And farm to table isn't just something restaurants throw around to sound cool. It's actually your everyday reality. That's what agrihoods are all about. Neighborhoods built around actual working farms that blend regular housing with a lifestyle that's way more sustainable.
Agrihoods, short for agricultural neighborhoods, are residential developments built around shared farming spaces where residents can actually roll up their sleeves and help grow food. The idea started catching on in the early 2000s, taking cues from older concepts like community gardens and eco-villages, but scaling them up into actual housing projects. They're not cookie cutter either. Agrihoods look different depending on where you are. Some are sprawling suburban developments sitting on old farmland, while others are compact community gardens wedged into city neighborhoods. A few are tailored specifically for seniors, and some are all about tiny home living. But no matter the setup, the core idea stays consistent. Build a community centered on fresh food and a real connection to the land. Agrihoods are growing in popularity. Right now, they're most prevalent in North America, but they're starting to pop up globally. Brazil, Singapore, Canada, and other places are getting in on it.
If you want to live in this Dutch town, you have to grow your own food. This is Oosterwold, where residents must dedicate half of their land to growing fruit and vegetables.
And growing mainly fruit, apple trees, pear trees, cherry trees.
We plant potatoes, corn, beans, peas, onions, carrots.
Jan Elko Jansma of Wageningen University is one of the people who came up with the concept of the Oosterwold project.
We lost the ability to produce food in urban sites. We left food producing to the professionals. Can people again produce food at a certain amount and quality for this city? Can we create new urban farmers?
But it's not just about farming. In Oosterwold, it's a completely different way of living.
One of the feature of this area is not only the producing food, but also it's a do-it-yourself area. People are obliged to create their property, their homes by themselves. It's not the planner, it's not the authorities who say how your house should look like and how you organize your sewer system, your road, whatever. That's all part of do-it-yourself.
Oosterwold was launched in 2016 outside Almere. Today, 6,000 people live here, helping to build the community from the ground up. In 2022, they even built a school together. Many say life here feels more connected, a slower, more intentional alternative to city living.
Agrihoods bring more to the table than just fresh veggies. They've got environmental, community, and health benefits. From an environmental standpoint, many of these communities use sustainable farming practices, and since the food is grown right there, they're cutting out the long-distance shipping. Socially, agrihoods bring neighbors together through shared work and activities, which creates a real sense of community. And when something messes with the supply chain, these food systems are much more reliable. For the people living there, having fresh organic produce usually means they're going to eat healthier, and the whole outdoor lifestyle, gardening, farm events, all of it, does wonders for both physical and mental health.
All right, I picked a story, and this one went under the radar a little bit. Texas A&M is going to study agrihood living. Okay. Are you familiar with agrihoods, folks?
I'm not.
Bottom line is we kind of grew up in them. We just didn't know it.
Okay.
So basically what this is, it's a study by Texas A&M where they're going to take a 235-acre living area, and basically ingrain about 100 acres of a working farm. Okay.
Okay.
So there's going to be fields. There's going to be grazing pastures with animals, all of that kind of stuff, along with a lot of other more natural vegetation and things, a lot of walking paths. There's going to be a lot of areas where there's no traffic allowed. The thought is, how does ingraining this type of, I guess you could call it industry, within a normal living space impact people from a health perspective. Because they've looked at it before in terms of, well, anecdotally, we know that this has some health benefits to it, but now let's really dive deep. Let's put 175 people in here that are brand new. Let's bring in 175 people from a neighboring neighborhood that has a similar demographic, but not an agrahood, if you will. And let's see how this impacts them. They're going to be checking stuff like blood pressure, weight loss, all of these different factors, and see if just being around this type of environment inspires a healthier lifestyle.
But agrihoods aren't a perfect solution, and they're definitely not for everyone. Affordability is a huge issue. A lot of these communities are marketed as luxury living, which pretty much prices out anyone with a lower income right from the start. Then you've got the scalability question, especially in cities where land is hard to come by and ridiculously expensive. Figuring out how to fit housing and actual working farmland together can get tricky. And if the planning falls short, you end up with farms that look nice but don't really produce much. Plus, these communities don't just magically run on their own. They require a lot of work, money, and expertise in farming and land management to keep going.
Ultimately, agrihoods are reimagining what a neighborhood can look like by mixing housing with food production and a tight-knit community feel. They show us it's possible to create places that are better for the planet, help people connect, and just lead to a healthier lifestyle overall.
In rural New Brunswick, UNN Field Messages Grenville, Diane, and Mariette explore Fairy Wood in Williamsburg, experiencing firsthand the Fairies' teachings, the Fairy New Year celebrations, and the power of attention, healing, and living light.
This is Grenville for United Network News. We're heading to a little spot called Fairy Wood in Williamsburg, New Brunswick, Canada. Not only are the fairies going to teach us the power of our attention, but the 1st of April is the Fairy New Year, and 2026 happens to be a little bit more special than other years. I'm here with Deanne and Mariette at Fairy Wood. What is this place?
This is the home of the North American cottle popper. Magical, isn't it? You can find cottle poppers all across the world, but this is where they seem to be less camera shy.
Fairywood is all about healing and empowerment with the fairies. They are everywhere, here and around the world. It's just that we're too busy to see them.
If we can't see the magic or the gift of the moment, how can we expect to see the fairy?
When we walk in nature, they are the ones that bring joy, dance, and songs in our hearts. Cottle poppers only stand about 2 apples tall. So if we keep an eye to the shadows, we might see one in the corner of our eyes. Their presence is felt more with the heart than the eyes.
When out in nature and in need of healing, they will get drawn to us. Setting our intention and stating our issue out loud gives them permission to help us with it. The extent of the healing will vary depending on our belief of the fairy. Sort of like life. Whether we believe that we can or believe that we can't, we'll be right.
Well, that sounds easy enough. To see a cottle popper, I just need to say that I want some healing.
Cottle poppers understand the language of vibration rather than actions or words, like pretending everything is fine. But really, you feel like your world is falling apart, but you try to hide it by putting on a fake smile. But our vibration doesn't lie, and they know it.
Anything that we don't say out loud, we get to keep and take back home with us.
Maybe I can do something about my vibration by talking about their new year. Apparently, the Fairy New Year begins April the 1st. Can you tell me a little bit about that, please?
Fairies have 13 months in their year, in alignment with the 13 moons. Their extra month is Sol and fits between our June and July. Each month has 28 days, with an extra day, the 1st of April, which they celebrate the new year.
The cottle popper's tinker smile is something that the whole world can join in with. It involves the banging of pots and pans, that's the tinker part, but we can use drums, horns, or other loud noises to scare away bad spirits, misfortune, and negativity. This is where we will be ushering in the new golden age and setting new intentions.
The air becomes magical and enchanting. The noise marks a cosmic shift. clears the spiritual residue of the old year, and prepares each household for prosperity. The color poppers know full well that what we think about, we bring about. Source gives us more of what we have our attention on. By keeping our attention on the solution, whether that is healing or manifesting, that is what Source will give us. We are celestials, and it is us who will bring in the new golden age.
After spending all this time at Fairy Wood, I still haven't seen a fairy. I don't think it's about physically seeing them, 'cause I feel them. I sense the magic and my heart feels full of joy and excitement. Maybe I've been looking in all the wrong places. Maybe I should be looking inward instead of outward. And why do I have this uncontrollable urge to want to skip? I'm Grenville with the Fairies, signing off for United Network News.
Are you ready to change the world? Take the next step and join our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Learn more at unitednetwork.earth. I am United Network News, and so are you.